This is a T422 production. If you want to talk some Simpsons, we do it with distinction. Insert brain here. With Springfield in our vision, our spirit is embiggened. Insert brain here. Flanders, Quimby, Otto, Man, the Hassa, Beam, a battle on. Insert brain here. We've got Simpsons to ponder. Here comes David and Connor. Insert brain here.
Welcome back to Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host, David, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Connor.
Guten Tagen. It's me. I'm here.
Hey, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Today, we're going to be talking about Burns Verkaufen Der Kraftwerk. The original air date is the 5th of December, 1991.
Oh, very good.
Apparently, 5th is a difficult one for me to say.
5th. Burns Verkaufen Der Kraftwerk.
Yeah, I managed that better than the 5th.
Maybe you're German.
Maybe.
A spy. For the war effort.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost out at 1991.
Yeah.
I imagine this will be the last episode this year.
Possibly.
This year for The Simpsons, not this year for us. We're not clocking out for November and December, sadly.
Oh, unfortunately not.
And the back half of October.
Yeah. No, I don't know, because there's surely it was more than monthly that it was being released.
Maybe. If
originally.
I think some shows used to take a break at Christmas, though.
Good point. And there was no Christmas special.
No, not until Marge Be Not Proud.
Mm.
And that was the 15th, so it would have been a week after that, so we're talking Christmas week.
Mm.
David, a week after the 15th? My God, we're talking the 22nd.
This was the 5th.
Was it?
Yeah,
oh,
the
well.
5th.
Remember.
The fuck?
Remember the 5th of December. Burns Verkaufen Der Kraftwerk.
Yeah. So, anyway, Connor.
Yes, David.
What's this episode about?
Oh, God. Well, David, this episode is about Mr. Burns. He's feeling a little disenfranchised, I guess you could say, with his life as the head of the nuclear power plant.
Uh-huh.
And he's thinking out loud to Smithers, his crocodile puppet. And he says, maybe it's time for me to sell the power plant, but I'm just not sure.
Mm.
Homer overhears this as he's trying to put money into a vending machine, but it won't work. It's a wrinkled up dollar bill.
Mm.
And stores it away in his brain for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, after that, Homer gets a phone call from his stockbroker.
Mm-hmm.
Homer's like, I have stocks? And he goes, yes, you have. Everyone who works at the power plant gets stocks.
Mm.
Yours are worth $25. I'm just letting you know. Homer's like, oh my God, I'll take those stocks right now. $25. Imagine what I could do with that.
Mm.
And he does. He imagines.
Mm-hmm.
And after Homer cashes out his stocks, word starts spreading that Mr. Burns might be retiring or stepping down, and stocks go all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Point where the stocks that are held by power plant employees skyrocket in value, and everyone else gets more than 50 grand, I think.
They must do, because they're buying like brand new cars and stuff.
Because they say it in a weird way. They say like $1,500, which isn't a phrase that we would use.
The stocks that Homer has are worth $5,200.
$5,200. That's it. That's the
so
phrase.
It's $5,200 for Homer. But I think typically companies that sell or give you stocks and stuff, as opposed to whatever reasons that this one is giving out stocks, they typically allow you to also purchase stocks with your paycheck,
right.
as opposed to being paid. So yeah, other people could quite easily have more stocks.
We didn't even have stock in our own pension.
No, I don't think we do.
But yeah, anyway, Homer finds out that he's lost out on a bunch of money, so he's down in the dumps, and Homer's at the pub enjoying his $25.
Mm-hmm.
worth of fancy beer, and he tells two German gentlemen who are businessmen. They mention they're interested in buying the power plant. He works for Mr. Burns. Two German businessmen say that they're interested in buying the nuclear power plant from Mr. Burns. Homer lets them know that he wouldn't sell it for less than $100 million, which is the number that he overheard earlier on. The German businessmen meet with Mr. Burns, buy it from him, and Mr. Burns is like, alright, he takes the money.
Yeah.
As the Germans are efficiently taking control. Obviously, they sack Homer because he's useless.
Yep.
And discover that the power plant is a bit of a money pit.
What with all the repairs and everything.
That's what money pit is, yeah. Just in case anyone wasn't familiar with that terminology, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Burns is feeling dissatisfied even further still with his retirement. He decides to meet up with Smithers and go to a local drinking hole. He just so happens to choose Moe's Tavern, formerly Flaming Moe's Tavern.
Yep.
And he goes inside and he gets into a big kerfuffle with Homer, and Homer makes fun of him. And Burns is shocked to find that they don't fear him anymore because he's not their boss.
Yeah.
So he storms into the nuclear power plant and takes his old job back, buys the plant back, buys it back for half as much as he was paid for it initially.
$50 million.
And he says, hire back that Homer Simpson so he can be under my boot again. And Homer gleefully accepts.
Yeah, that's it.
The end.
Yeah.
Burns Verkaufen Der Kraftwerk. That's the end of my recap, David.
Great recap there, Connor.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure you'll edit it
special.
into a piece of shit. Remember, folks, it was good when I recorded it. That's what matters.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
David, you know what that is.
I do indeed.
That's the sound of Ion Springfield, a segment in this show where we cover characters who made their first appearance in this episode of The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Then I say who they are, and I go, David, who is such and such, and he has to kind of guess, and doesn't usually do very well. David, who is the stockbroker?
I'm guessing that would be the guy who's pretending at this point to be a stockbroker.
Homer's stockbroker, you mean?
Yeah, Homer's
yes,
stockbroker.
That's correct, David. Who is Hans?
Hans, is that one of the two people that buys the power plant, the nuclear power plant?
Right you are, David.
Very good.
2 for 2.
For now.
David, who is Fritz?
So the other of the two people that bought the nuclear power plant.
Wow, 3 for 3. David, who is Chocolate Dog?
That would be the dog that Homer bites a chunk out of after it lovingly jumps up for a pat.
Very good. 4 for 4. David, who is Chocolate Bunnies?
Are they the chocolate bunnies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 6 for 6. David, who is Jake the Barber?
That's the person in Homer's imagination, like blowing away Homer's 2 hairs and trimming his hair. The barber.
Correct, David.
Nice.
7 for 7. David, who is Horst?
Horst. Eesh, stumped. No, is that the sort of chubbier-ish, friendlier German guy who
Correct,
comes
David.
in?
That's the one. That's him.
Nice.
David, who is Aaron Presley?
Here we go. Who is... Say that name again.
Aaron Presley.
Aaron Presley. Got any clues?
He was in this episode.
Brilliant. Thanks,
It's
Connor.
a brief appearance, I'll say that much.
Very good. Is he the boxing opponent for Mr. Burns?
Wrong.
Damn it.
You failed. Aaron Presley is... Oh, you might know him. Here's a good clue. His real name's Elvis Presley. Absolutely get fucked. What? Aaron Presley is the yeah. Well, I know Elvis by his middle name, which is Aaron.
Hold on a minute.
I'm on good terms with Elvis. We actually call each other by our middle names. He calls me Thomas, and I call him Aaron. That's where that mix-up's happened.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, I'm the Joker. This Friday we'll be covering Joker on our other podcast.
Shameless plug.
David, who is limo worker?
That would be the guy driving the limo.
No.
Wait, no, it's the guy that's in the limo.
Correct. That is.
Yeah.
I tried to trick you again in case you figured out that Aaron Presley was Elvis Presley.
Mm.
I also tried to mispronounce his last name a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed.
Presley.
Yeah,
Tried
I
to slip a
noticed.
T in there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, a limo worker is the worker who buys a limo.
Yeah.
David, who is Smitty?
Smitty. Is that a boxer?
No, I didn't put
No.
the boxer down. He didn't have a name.
Alright, okay, fair enough.
David,
I have
who
no
is
idea.
boxer?
Is that the boxer?
Yes.
Good.
But David, back to Smitty.
Don't know, I've already guessed.
I'll give you another guess. Unheard of, I know. Never go back and listen to the episodes of this show in which I used to give David unlimited guesses. And he used to
40 odd minutes of us fucking guessing.
One of them, it was more than an hour of Iron Springfield.
that's
I try and keep it
terrible.
under 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
Who's Smitty?
I have no idea who Smitty is.
Okay. You know when Horst walks in and Homer's like, Lenny, you get back to work, and he turns into the other worker and he goes,
Fuck.
Smitty, do that thing
Safe
more
enough.
safen up. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's Smitty.
Right.
That was a real one.
Yeah, it was.
And
Well
they were
done.
all real ones, really. They were all in the episode.
Yeah. It was a legitimately worded one.
Whatever do you mean?
No reason. No reason at all. Thomas.
You must know my good friend Aaron. I've missed doing this. David, that's the end of Iron Springfield. Unfortunately, you do not win a prize.
Oh, well, I'm aware.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's just the end of Iron Springfield. Don't get excited.
So, Connor,
Mm-hmm.
you know much German?
I know a little.
You know, you actually know some German?
I know a little bit. I know like basic stuff like oh, I did.
Until you had to think of it, and then it's gone.
No, I know please and thank you in German. Dankeschön
Mm-hmm.
and Bitteschön.
Right. Okay.
And that kind of thing. I know a few little like bits and pieces like that, but
Mhm.
no, nothing really. What about you, David? Do you know any German?
I did not learn any German at all ever in my life.
Okay,
So,
very good.
unfortunately, I spent more time learning French and stuff at school. So.
Yeah, I didn't learn
know
that
none of
German in school. That was of my own volition.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think I might have family who are German, like way back.
Right.
I think I actually do have some German
Yeah.
family back in the tree somewhere.
Yeah.
Higher branches.
Mhm.
Oh, that's funny. That was
I
a
don't know
great.
where I was going with this.
I know that was a great. That was a great introduction to our discussion about the episode, David.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked in a nuclear power plant?
No. No, I have not,
Me neither.
unfortunately.
I remember there used to be a train near here used to pass by.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing it as a kid and being like, "Oh, that's where Homer Simpson works."
Yeah.
Little did I know one day I'd be talking about that on this
Oh.
podcast.
No, I had no clues that we would stoop so low in life.
God, it's horrible talking about an episode, huh?
Yeah.
What did you think of... David, how did you feel about Mr. Burns' portrayal in this episode?
I think that his portrayal in this episode almost, I don't know if it's maybe the right word, but it almost felt like, to me anyway, that he almost got humanized a little bit in this episode.
Yeah, more so than his prior appearances, I would say.
Mm-hmm. I think as the bystander, as the watcher, you almost feel a little bit bad for Mr. Burns.
In the words of Bart Simpson, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't.
Exactly. You feel like he doesn't have much of a life running the nuclear power plant. Mm-hmm. And he's looking to change that.
His only companion is Smithers, so he feels a genuine love for in this episode.
Yeah.
I kind of miss seeing that.
Yeah.
In certain appearances. But yeah, he names as the Queen Bee after Smithers in this little beehive. Yeah. He calls Smithers up outside of work after he leaves to meet up and have a drink.
Yeah.
Smithers is the one who Mr. Burns confides in via a crocodile puppet, which is very sweet.
Yeah, it is. So
it's a good episode for Mr. Burns, even considering that he's not actually in it much.
He's really not. There's a good portion of it is just sort of like very small snippets here and there through the episode. They did quite well with that though, because they didn't overkill him out boxing and doing other stuff. It was very brief and it was quite funny. To the point and funny, which was good.
I think the Germans get a pretty good portrayal. It's always a worry that it's going to be some strange nonsense going on when they bring in a group like the Germans as a character. Just German people in general. Yeah. But no, I think they get a pretty fair shake of it.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think they actually kind of portray them really quite well, because working standards in Germany are much better.
Much higher than they are in America as well.
Yeah. Especially then, but also now, I think. I mean, I've never worked in either country personally, but from what I've seen and heard, I would say so.
Yeah. I think they almost do a thing where the Germans coming to Springfield feel like real people. Like the way that they talk and interact with each other. It's like characters in a normal show like The Office. Went to Springfield and met Homer Simpson. They're just kind of baffled by him.
They that like interview.
It actually reminds me a bit of have you seen Office Space?
Yes.
You know when the two guys are interviewing the main character in Office Space?
Yeah.
And he's like, I have 8 bosses. And he's just totally, and they're just like baffled by him.
Yeah,
it's very, very reminiscent of that scene in that film that hadn't come out yet.
That's the one.
What's that sound?
I'm not really sure.
Open the door, David. The little door.
I will indeed.
Oh my god. It's the Oktoberfest 3 blind mice and they're lederhosen. Put in some Oktoberfest sounds. Put in the sounds of a small Oktoberfest. This isn't my edit. Oh, guten Tag. Guten Tag, mein Maus. Oh, thank you. They gave me a small pint. And by small, I mean it's large. It's small for a mouse, but it's Oktoberfest, so it's the size of my head. Small for a German mouse, I mean.
Yeah, these guys are buff.
I don't know where this bit's going. Get away here, mice. Oh, at the bottom of my glass. Trivia. Is that the longest one yet?
Yeah, maybe.
The last one I remember doing is the one where the mice all died. Which one was that?
That was most happened.
Is that last week's episode? Oh, these must be new mice. They came over from Germany.
Yeah.
Those other mice are... We went to their funeral. I remember going to their funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The title is German and is apparently intentionally grammatically wrong. The correct phrase would be Burns Verkaufen Das Kraftwerk, or in English, Burns sells the power plant.
Right.
In the original script, the Land of Chocolate sequence was absent, though the dialogue that set it up was still present. Executive producer Sam Simon was the one who suggested that they actually do a sequence in which Homer's mind wanders off into an imaginary land made of chocolate. The sequence was storyboarded by animator Kevin O'Brien, who originally designed it to be a parody of The Sound of Music from 1965. However, supervising director David Silverman suggested that it be more original. Storyboarded and revised the sequence and tried to make Homer deliriously happy as he skipped through the town. He would later recall, I animated that scene frame by frame. I needed to draw the skip that I wanted. Homer skipping sets the tone for the show.
Yeah, it's a very good, very good little segment there. I like the skipping and stuff.
Well, it's
really
so good,
quick.
in fact, that it is the opening level of the Simpsons game.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good.
We're in 1991 now. Whenever we hit 2009, we can play the Simpsons game.
Oh, God. We've got a while to go.
We're already 53 episodes in.
Yes,
and we've only been going for a year.
Yeah.
The photo Burns gives Smithers of him and Aaron Presley
Yeah.
resembles the famous photo taken at the meeting between Aaron and Richard Nixon.
Does it?
Wonder what Richard Nixon's middle name is. I bet Aaron could tell me.
Oh, I bet.
Originally, the writers had decided to have Burns sell his plant to the Japanese. However, it was decided that this was too cliched. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
While Smithers is seen around bees in this episode without any ill effects, and this was almost a boyish show where someone got fired for that blunder, which is a different segment on this show. We cover mistakes. In contrast, season 7 episode 22 short films about Springfield, which reveals that Smithers is deathly allergic to bee stings. This is not considered a goof, as insect allergies can develop at any age, even after a number of uneventful stings, which can kill someone if not treated. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Bart was originally meant to sing On the Good Ship Lollipop, but they couldn't get the rights.
Okay.
This episode was study material for a sociology course at University of California, Berkeley, where it was used to, quote, examine issues of the production and reception of cultural objects, in this case, a satirical cartoon show, end quote, and to figure out what it was, quote, trying to tell audiences about aspects primarily of American society and, to a lesser extent, about other societies, end quote.
I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would actually end up like that useful. But then again, popular culture typically ends up in these kind of courses, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it can be quite handy. I'll look into the zeitgeist at the time.
Yeah.
The song Homer sings to Burns as he's leaving Moe's Tavern is Na Na Hey Hey Kiss Him Goodbye, a 1969 song by Steam. This is often sung at sporting events to mock the visiting team when the home team is about to win.
Yes. I have been to a couple of football games.
Oh, right.
Or
never.
Soccer, if you're an idiot.
Keep that in. After Homer gets fired, Bart feeds Snowball to a mixture of 88% ash and 12% carrots.
Yes.
This gag came from a real-life experience when John Vitti tried to feed his cat a mixture of carrots and ash.
The fuck?
However, the cat simply ate and regurgitated it.
Why the fuck would he try and feed them
I don't know.
ash and carrots?
Ask those mice. They gave me the trivia, I'm just reading it.
Yeah. I'm still reeling about that fucking piece of trivia.
After Homer tells them the minimum price Burn will sell the plant at, Hans and Fritz say they'll still have enough to buy the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
This is a reference to a real-life dispute between then Browns owner Art Modell and the city of Cleveland over a new stadium, which would culminate in Modell's controversial attempt to move the team to Baltimore 4 years after this episode aired.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Something on the underside of my coaster.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, David, it's a Who Complained and Why.
Oh, fuck my life.
David, this is a sub-segment of this show, a sub only to Three Blind Mice Trivia. Did I say Three Blind Mice Trivia at the start?
I think
I was
so.
talking about those fucking mice, the three German mice. Did I even mention they were blind?
Don't think so.
Well, guess what they were? This segment is a sub-segment of that in which I take a piece of trivia and me and my little three blind mice twist it and rot it and turn it into something vile.
Mm-hmm.
And we feed it to David. And he has to try and tell us who complained and why.
Yep.
No context. so David, for this episode, who complained and why did they complain?
Was it the American public?
Wrong-o.
Very good. Who would complain about this? Would it be German people?
Wrong-o. It's got nothing to do with a country,
Okay.
in a sense.
Okay.
Do you want a clue?
Please, I'd love something other than just this episode.
David, this is related to the chocolate section. The land of chocolate.
Is it about the fact that Homer bit the dog?
No, but good guess.
Okay.
Another clue?
Sure.
This is about something that isn't in the episode.
Oh, fucking hell.
One of those.
Oh, God. So it really is an Aaron Presley situation.
No. You could figure this out. If you had 17 years. If you were in a padded cell with a whiteboard for 17 years, you could figure this one out.
Good.
You can always give up and suffer the wrong theme.
Get one more guess anyway.
David, who complained and why?
I have no idea. I cannot guess any further.
David, in the Land of Chocolate sequence, there was supposed to be a road sign that read Hershey Highway.
Oh, right, okay.
However, the censors objected to this, as Hershey Highway refers to anal sex.
What?
Hershey is a chocolate manufacturer in America,
Yep.
but the term Hershey Highway is
Anal sex, apparently.
The writers replaced that sign with Fudge Town.
Oh, I saw the Fudge Town.
Well, then you should have got this.
Like fuck?
It's been a good episode for me.
Yeah, it really is. For you.
Well, David, that was Who Complained and Why, and that was also Three Blind Mice Trivia.
Very good, Connor.
I wonder when the mice are going to come and take my glass away.
I don't think it's table service, mate.
Alright, I'll just get up and leave.
Good.
Oh no, it's back to episode discussion.
That's why he's gone.
David, do you have any final thoughts about the episode?
I really quite enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a really good episode. I felt like we discussed, it was a good portrayal of Burns and Smithers' relationship, and a good representation of Germany as a country, I guess.
Yeah, I liked the episode as well. It did feel a bit odd in terms of the pacing for me. It's a bit of a run-on episode where a thing happens and that influences another thing, then that influences something and that influences something.
Yeah.
Rather than having a standard 3-act structure to it.
Yeah. It does feel a little bit like they sort of like pinballed around in the writer's room for this one.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely opposed to that sort of layout. If anyone's actually ever listened to this podcast, they'll know.
The domino effect,
Yeah.
I think, is the kind of story structure that is.
Right. I'm not entirely opposed to that. I'm just... depends on the episode. Depends on how it ends up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once it's wrapped up, is it a good episode? And I love the end of this. It's just, I've got my job back. And then cut.
Back to status
Straight
quo.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
David, it's time for Boy Short Someone Got Fired for That Blunder.
Okay.
Which is a segment I mentioned earlier on, if you didn't cut that part out. We noticed that Lenny's plastic surgery that he gets in the first act after his big win vanishes.
Yep. Gone the next time we see Lenny.
And his beard is back as well.
Yeah. 5 o'clock shadows right there.
Something I noticed that I didn't mention to you at time of viewing. The Germans mentioned that Homer has been safety inspector for 2 years, right? This matches the fact that he got that job in season 1 in the season 1 episode Homer's Odyssey.
Oh, nice.
However, it can't have actually been 2 years ago in universe.
Yeah.
Because Bart and Lisa haven't aged.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a break in like the fourth wall, I guess.
Kind of a time loop almost.
Yeah.
Continuity error.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else that you noticed?
I had nothing. I noticed nothing except from Lenny's plastic surgery there.
You didn't even notice that Elvis was in the episode.
No, I did not. Didn't notice Aaron standing there.
Who?
No idea, mate.
David, what's your one bit of animation that you actually... It's time for David's one bit of animation. I keep forgetting to do the intros to segments now.
Oh, I know.
It's time for David's one bit of animation that he actually quite likes. This is the segment in the show where David tells me one bit of animation that he actually quite liked. David, what is your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked?
Well, Connor,
is it
my
the chocolate?
one bit of
is
animation
it the fucking Hershey Highway chocolate
that I actually quite liked is the it's the chocolate Hershey sort of.
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right.
I think that's it. We're wrapping it up.
This has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I've been your host, David, and with me, as always, has been my co-host, Connor.
Yep.
Nothing funny, clearly.
And there's nothing funny about this.
Good.
If you want me to say something funny, what's something funny I could say? Let's waste time.
I have no idea. This is why you're the funny guy.
I've been riding David's Hershey Highway.
Oh. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at T422 and on Instagram at Insert Brain Here Pod.
And don't forget to check out our website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io.
There we go.
You can catch us next week when we'll be back to talk about
I Married Marge.
Original air date, David, the 26th of December, 1991.
Also, you can check out our other podcast, Movie House.
Episodes go up every second Friday. We've so far covered Alien vs. Predator and Beetlejuice. And this Friday, God willing, we'll be covering the movie Joker from 2019 to celebrate to ride the algorithmic express that is the release of Joker 2 Big Fucking Poo. That's all from us.
Smell
you later. I almost didn't even say smell you later because I was like, I'd forgot that was part of the show.
Everything about this show gets forgotten.
Tatty bye.
Yeah, tatty bye. Yeah.
C422 Productions, honey boy.